All right, you guys, we are here again. Um, okay, I gotta remove it. We are here again, and it's a lot of stuff that's going on with Carmelo. Breaking news right now. They are saying this. They are saying that it's a hidden video, and it is seeing a lot. Tamala, you've heard about the hidden video, and we're going to play the guy that have seen the hidden video, and he's not backing down. He's standing on business, and the things that he is saying, Carmelo should not be doing 35 years. I can hear all that noise in your background, Tamala.
Oh, that was just me walking through the door. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, we can stop that. That'd be great. Hey,
Oh,
Sour
jeez.
Skittles. So what are your thoughts about it, Tamala?
Gigi, there's so much that's uncovered. I am so excited because, you know, Jeff Metcalf had an interview with Sarah Fields. And when he had the interview with Sarah Fields, he said that they dropped the ball. He said, those idiots, them damn idiots, we told them that they could let people see the video, but they go let uh, a child see it and you know what I'm talking about, the ones that protest for black people, and said they let one of them see it, and the damn idiots fumbled the ball. So he was saying, so there is another video. The video that they're showing of Carmelo and Austin shows Carmelo being the aggressor, but the real video shows that Austin was the aggressor. He was the aggressor. And it also shows that Hunter never did anything, didn't render any aid to the young man. And Sarah Fields, the interviewer, we heard her whispering because he said too much. That's why he had the gag order. That's why they gave him the gag order, Gigi, because he would have talked the whole case and they would have knew that Carmelo was actually innocent in all this. That's why the judge put the gag order on them. And then as I did my research, people said that video, that picture was not a real picture. That was false AI. No, that's not. That's a real picture of the judge, the Metcalf family. Yes, that's a real picture. They are all actually connected. All of that was a big setup. Okay? It was a big setup, a big major setup. And it's sad because they got these news people playing in it, Fox News, playing in this family's face and everything. You know, after me doing some digging, he also had 20 scholarships. 20 scholarships. This young man was fabulous and they hated it. That's why that man, Jeff Metcalf, made the comments that he made about Carmelo, because he hated the fact that he was that boy. He was that chosen one. And I'm just saying, I'm so excited because we're gonna,
Your
God is
Tamala,
here.
your phone
He's
is
here,
going off.
and
You
it's coming
talking
out every
good,
day, every day,
Tamala.
every day. Something else is coming out about these people.
Tamala.
These people sit there and set that young man up, and it's so sad.
Yeah, hopefully Tamala come back. The audio was getting really bad. But hopefully she come back. I'm gonna call her on the phone. You guys, the phone lines are open. Feel free to come up here. We are talking about the hidden video. We're going to be playing some of the parts of the guy speaking about the hidden video that he's seen. So yeah. Hey, Robbie Blue, feel free to come up here. We'll love Rob Blue to come up here. All right, so I'm calling Tamala. Tamala, you must be on No Cavity page. Yeah, everybody's been on that page. I have some of the clips right here that I want to go over. Um, all this is coming from the No Captivity page with
I don't know
freezing.
what happened. But something strange happened. Then I was on the camera of somebody else's end. And I was like, what? Hold on. Wait a minute now. but
Well,
but
we glad you
but
back.
yes, Gigi, I'm telling you, this is it. You are right. We are on the money. Carmela is coming up out of there, y'all. And we said a prayer on the other live that I was, well, other chat place that I was at tonight. We said a live, and then me and Lady T, that's always in your chat. We were at the same thing, and she heard it too, and she was like, "Yes." And I told her, we were kind of chatting back and forth, and I let her know that the young prince is coming out of there. Our young black prince is coming out of there because everybody is standing on business on this, and we don't have to promote violence or condone it. We don't have to address the racial stuff that he says or the slurs, because guess what? God is showing up and showing out. So play your part, Gigi, and when you come back, I will have more to say, hun.
All right. We got Robbie Blue in the building. He was great yesterday. Hopefully we hear from him whenever he feels. All right.
Okay.
So and Tamala, if you can guide me on what's the good spots to play, but I'm gonna play.
Okay, Gigi, if you will go past him, you could go past him. That's when he breaks up and let him go, and then we saw what uh, I think her name is Aisha brought to the table. The investigator Aisha, she brought it to the table. I think she's an investigator. I'm not for sure, but
All right.
don't quote me
So
on it.
go to the girl. All right, but I do want to
No,
play here.
not the girl. You just go to, you'll see the story about Mr. Metcalf in the conversation up here. But he
Let me tell you,
confirms that
I
there's a
was a
video.
download dude, and I only F with download. Okay. Well, let me. I just want to play this, and I'm going to go there. Give me.
Okay.
All right. People are saying the volume I'm off. Are you guys not hearing it? No audio. All right. Thank you for telling me that. All right. So I have to take this out. Let me add this in. But yeah, if you guys don't hear any audio, please let me know. All right. So I'm just going to have to add this back up here. Give me 1 second. Share screen. And now let me know if you hear the audio now. I'm just playing it. Lord, I'm just playing it.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can hear it.
So
All right. So if you guys were just missing that part, basically the guy was saying, hey, they had us watch a small screen. It was 2x2 of the video on a big screen that was 50-inch. He says, listen, I thought I was expecting to see a whole screen 50-inch full of that video, but they purposely put it 2x2 and put it in a corner so it would be hard to tell. All right. So they were purposely doing dirty stuff to blur the lines. All right. So that's what you guys missed. That was no audio.
That right. Mm-hmm. I said, here it goes. Because alumni 12 jury. My name is Mike.
Share any video or 12 Tribes seen this video. He said it twice.
So right now I'm trying to go to the part where Tamala was telling me to go to. Do I need to keep on going, Tamala?
No, you just need to back it up by and show wait a minute. You go where the daddy's interview at.
So I need to go forward.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right.
Okay, it's past them. It's almost okay.
All right, if you guys are in here, make sure you guys like this video. Let's get the videos liked. So we're just going past all the stuff right here. Is this it?
Okay, yeah, you gotta go where they gonna talk about his dad. The dad gonna come up. It should be coming up anytime. If you play it, it should, because it's at the end. Almost at the end. There it is, right there, Gigi. Ooh, you had it. There it is, right there. Play it. Caught him dead red-handed. Listen to what he said, everybody in the chat.
Was guilty. There will only be need for one video to be shown, and we keep saying 4K clear. Mm-hmm. They would have made it 8K clear if he was guilty.
Facts.
So that's what I got to say. It's very sad. Very sad.
Oh my God.
No captivity.
Did y'all hit it? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all heard the whispering at the end, as if he wasn't supposed to mention that video. Obviously, he was drunk. Put a 1 at the end if y'all see. This is crazy. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all heard the whispering at the end. The suspicious whispering. Let me play it one more time for y'all. Shout out to Aisha. Here we go. Play it again.
But Frisco ISD, with the video, when they fumbled that whole ordeal, we're not going to let the police have it. We're going to hold on to it because Frisco ISD owns it. But we're going to open it up to let people come in and view it. But you have to sign in. But you can't tape it.
So let me stop it. Right here, he's telling you that this video exists at Frisco ISD.
No captivity.
Listen, even Jeff Metcalf confirmed there's a video at Frisco ISD, and you have to sign off. I don't want to hear that this video is fake anymore. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Let me start from the beginning, because he just confirmed that the video exists. Here we go.
But Frisco ISD, with the video, when they fumbled that whole ordeal, we're not going to let the police have it. We're going to hold on to it because Frisco ISD owns it. But we're going to open it up to let people come in and view it. But you have to sign in. But you can't tape it. And then you screw it up and you let a child view the video of kids. You let an activist who is blatantly lying. And
so he's talking about the first guy that went viral, Dwayne. So basically he's saying they should have never showed the video to Dwayne. They should have never showed the video. They fumbled the video.
And then you screw it up and you let a child view the video of kids.
They screw it up. Yo. They screw it up and let the guy Dwayne see the video. This is crazy. This is crazy.
You let an activist who is blatantly lying and spreading false information about me, my son, and everybody else, you let them look.
Did y'all hear the whispering? Hold on. Oh my, OMG. Let me pull this over here. This is crazy.
All right, Tamala, break it down.
Yes, and I just want to say that this is so excited, and I just been like, thank you, Jesus, because the young prince will be home, and it's just like, I'm so glad that we just pull back on the foolishness and start praying about this, and it's like a whole movement going on, no matter how much they try to sabotage it. And I went on, like I told you earlier, I went on everybody's page, and I was setting the record straight about the Give Sin Fund, the Crown Sin Fund. I was, because his mama, that was a lie, that when they said that that Carmelo Anthony's mother, them was spending their money, that and wasn't getting him attorney. No, they was not. They took that money from them people and didn't allow them to get that boy a good attorney. Okay, so that's why I said, the devil will try to play in your face. Charleston White, he stated that he raised $1 million. That was a lie. Okay, because if you raised $1 million, but you was only going to give them $75K, where was the other money going to you? Yeah, that was a lie. That was clickbait, so he can try to draw attention and to him and ring up the numbers. Everybody is coming out about this case to ring up their number and use this boy as an example to get money off of him. And this is really crazy piece of work, because this young man is innocent. He has 20 scholarship, you guys. He never committed any crime. He saved a child's life that wasn't even his own nationality. So I'm just saying, that's what it was all about. They didn't want this young man to go anywhere. And I keep telling, IRS all the time, they don't really like us. Some of them don't really like us. They tolerate us, but they don't really like us. And it's sad to say, because I have, my family is all different colors, so we mixed up with everything. But at the end of the day, some people just don't really like us, and we have to face the fact that prejudice is real, and it lives here. It still lives here. And it's sad that they would railroad this child. It's sad, and I just want to tell his parents, if they're listening, please, I don't care if somebody call you from the penitentiary and say, hey, we can give him protection because if you send us this amount of money that you got from raising, no, don't send any money, because he's got protection, because those boys are not going to let anything happen to him. Now, I know this from the thing. They are on go. About this young man, okay? And now they're on go, they're on standby, they're not getting ready to let no bull crap happen, because at the end of the day, when they all get the iceberg of this, what the setup is, baby, the rest of them gonna back off, because they know it's a cold setup and you got caught, and they ain't gonna want no parts in it. Because like I said, Sarah is the one that you hear whispering to Jeff Metcalf. She's an interviewer. She works for, one of those, one of like the news thing, but she was interviewing him. And that's when he gave that statement. But she was also the one who was whispering in the background. See, and that's who you heard whispering. So she would, yeah, a lot of people's going to lose their job behind that. And do you think I feel sorry for them? No, I do not, because you framed a child that was innocent. I don't care what anybody say. They wanted to pass that video around to their people. They never wanted that black guy, Dwayne, to see it. And when Dwayne said he saw it, they knew that he saw the actual truth. Him and the other lady saw the actual footage and the actual truth. The footage that they have and they're putting out is what they chopped up, okay? So that's what they got put together, okay? They put that together to make Karmelo look bad. But see, God is good. What you do in the dark comes to the light, and God don't play about his chosen ones. I'm telling you, if we get on board, we get the answers. And look how quick we got those answers. Mm-hmm. She did what I normally do. Go back over the videos and listen. And then, but as many times as we probably have seen this video, none of us really paid attention to it. But Aisha, I thank God for her, because she found that video and she paid attention, where we all just was hearing him cussing and saying all other kind of stuff. But yeah, see, that's why the judge gave him the gag order, because if I don't give you the gag order, then you're gonna blow it for all of us. And that's why they gave it. Have y'all ever known any other high profile court cases like this get the gag order from parents now? From a parent? Come on now. Y'all haven't never known that to happen. So this was the first to happen like this, because this was a big high profile case. But at the end of the day, it wasn't the only reason why they gave him the gag order is because the judge knew that they were both crooked. All of them was crooked. Even the lawyer, Mike Howard, he needs to be disbarred. He needs to be disbarred because he set the young man out for the play, okay? He set the young man as well out for the play. He knew the truth and he held back evidence. He knew that they told one person. I wonder who you want to know who the secret person is, the mysterious person. It's another mysterious person out there. But one of them, guess what? That they showed the video to. And that was that young boy, Eddie. Eddie has a hand in this, baby. He has a hand in this. And if the family, Karmelo Anthony family, go after Eddie and go after that and go pressing hard on go, they ain't got to promote violence or condone all that everybody else wants them to go, like Charleston Way said, well, you need to. No, because if I go and take matters into my own hands, I won't be out here for my other kids. So that don't make sense. But what he can do is what they doing now, the right way. But they can fight back in this court system. And they got a lot of people backing them now. Not only Gigi and other channels, but they got a lot of people backing them. Okay? And the thing about the money is they never received it. Do you know, people was wondering, donors was wondering, where did their money go to? Because as soon as the verdict, they snatched the money, y'all. Soon as he got that verdict, they came back, bam, the money wasn't up there for them to grab to use even for appeal. That's why and if you go back, I put it on my page and other people's page and all the comments that and all the things that they put down about him and the family and stuff. I put it on everybody's thing. Hey, they made a big long letter to the Metcalf family. So they didn't even acknowledge him. Why would you acknowledge the Metcalf family? I understand, but we're trying to represent this boy. We're trying to get him some help because we know this is what they say that's happening, but we're trying to get him some defense. And just like the one woman that Gigi had the other night that was on there, the video, I said, well, make it add up. How you gonna get he gets 630,000, okay? And that alone ain't gonna cover all his attorney fees. So what are you talking about, lady? No, make it add up. But you know what? I had to Google, use Google. And I Googled and I said, did Karmelo mother and father have cars and houses? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And I put that in Gigi's chat where some of the comments were as well. I put that in there because I didn't want her to get in no trouble. So I put it all in there. Some of these where we have these shows, I put them in there because I was going through this because I'm like, okay, I want to put that rumor to rest. The people never got to use it. So now they're trying to get a defense for their son, and they got the appeal going on. We're going to keep praying for him because those folks set that young man up. And that's why they were so perverted to put him in dresses and everything. Who does that? What kind of weird behavior was that? And then I did some investigating. Somebody said that he was in the jail and one of the wardens was a Metcalf. But let me tell you something. If this Metcalf man is affiliated with Mr. Metcalf in any way, it's a lawsuit there. Because by law, he cannot be housed where family members, where somebody has done somebody wrong to someone's family member. No, he cannot be held in that facility like that. No, he cannot. So, yes, that's it, Gigi. You can run it down because this is your show. I just was helping you.
Yeah, but go ahead, girl. You the one that told me about this. Feel free to continue on because I'm listening.
Okay, and I just want to say this. People want to say, why didn't Melo leave? The question is, why should I have to leave? Isn't this America? Isn't this a free country? Can I stand wherever I want to? Can I be wherever I want to? Do I have to just up and leave because this person don't like me or like my color of my skin so I can just get up and just move? Or if I'm on a plane and somebody say, I want this seat, do I have to get up and give them my seat just because I'm an African American? No, I do not. So that's the thing. He was standing his ground, pretty much saying, I don't have to leave, And then my thing is, what people don't realize, he was there first. Someone called him to the tent, and that someone is Eddie, called him to the tent. And he was sitting there talking to him and some other guys. Then all of a sudden, the bullies came along. Hey, you got to call it what it is. They came along. And they wanted him to leave. Austin, anyway. And if you remember what the brother Hunter said, oh, he always got my back. So you're not the aggressive one. We already know who the aggressive one did. You're not the aggressor. So he always got your back. So if you do anything or pick a fight or say something wrong, all you have to do is say, hey, Austin, he's coming to your rescue. Pretty much. And then if you go back over the one video at the end when they were talking to Hunter and the mom, you'll see where Hunter was getting the mom to shut up. Now, see, why would you not want your mom to tell the truth? And if y'all know, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I do have compassion for the mother because the mother ain't came out here and said nothing negative whatsoever. Yes, we have to have compassion for her because she lost a child. But that father is the reason. He is the reason. And I'm sorry to say this, but he is the reason. Because I'm pretty sure them boys did not want to live with the father. They did not want to live with the father, but the father was twisting the mother's hand. And the father, you can see what type of man he is. So you know what she was living with. The woman was standing up there. If you go back and look at how she was standing up there when they came out of the court, it was like he was doing all the talking, but she couldn't say nothing, pretty much. Only thing she said was that little piece about you, more or less, you still have your child, but I have a lifetime of not having mine. That's all she said. She never once said, anything about the Karmelo family. Oh, y'all just, No, she never once said that. She went to grieve while the father came out the way he was taught over the years. This is over the years of stuff. This is just not something that you do right off the bat. This is something you've been having in your heart for our color. This is something that's been going on in your lifestyle for many years. But you say you are a Christian. I want to point out something else to the chat. Okay, people were saying the things about Austin, about Austin and Karmelo. So I just did my own little thing, and I said Austin had no right to tell Karmelo to leave the tent. He never purchased it, so it wasn't his private property. Okay, so and plus, it wasn't his private property, so therefore, Karmelo wasn't doing anything wrong. Second, Austin's second mistake was taking matters into his own hands. He should have went and got the same coach that allegedly told him he was in charge. Okay. Allegedly, because that's not what's on the video. Okay. So allegedly, we're going to say allegedly, he was in charge. Okay. So he should have went and got that same coach and told that same coach what was going on and let the coach handle it. Okay. 3, he engaged in a confrontation by fighting. It wasn't they try to make it seem like it was just a shove or a push, which was a lie. If I get a shove or a push, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a black eye. This is not a chokehold. It was wrong. It was wrong. And then last but least, by them using hate stuff, calling him monkeys and stuff, if the incident didn't go as, like it did, they could have been charged with a hate crime, because this is a hate crime. You're engaging in this, and then you got 2 or more people with you. It could, this could be something really bigger for them boys. The other ones that still, once everything do come out, them other boys can get charged for perjury and everything else, because they recanted their story, and that's not how it was. Okay. And the people on the video saw that this wasn't how it was. The only thing that Karmelo, and I'm going to say this, the only thing I didn't find any real facts on Karmelo of him being guilty of anything, because by Texas law, that little tool he had is not illegal. It's not even illegal to be on the school property. If the school has a problem with that, they were supposed to handle it. It wasn't supposed to be handled by no court of law. Okay. Another thing is, Austin caused his own, to be honest, he caused his own death, guys. He caused his own death.
Demise.
Demise. He caused his own demise. I know the father don't want to believe it. I know nobody really wants to believe it. But yes, he caused his own. He was careless with his own life, because by him being confrontational with this young man, he was careless. He should have, as a person, he should have just let it go. It was raining. He was under the tent. Some of them try to say it was a drizzle, but it wasn't drizzling that night. If you go back and you go back, you Google the news and see what type of rain it was. It was actual rain. It wasn't a drizzle, because a drizzle, I can stand out there in a drizzle. So rain, I'm not going to stand out there in the rain. Okay. So it wasn't, no, because I went back and checked. It was raining. Okay, actually, it was actually raining. And then I'm gonna say this: one, Karmelo didn't have to leave. He didn't cause any problems. The problem escalated when the Metcalf boys showed up. When they showed up under that tent, that's when the problems began. Nothing was going on before they got there. So that also shows that Karmelo was not the aggressor. Because if it was, the other guys that was under the tent with him would have had problems with him before the Metcalf boys showed up. All right. Two, the only downfall, like I said, was with Karmelo was the tool. Even though the school has their regulations about that, other than that, that is not punishable by law. So the school could have dealt with it, but as for the law, the levels of the law, no, because he was in the guidelines. He was in the right guidelines. So those are the things that I have about Karmelo. You know, unfortunate, to be honest, it was an accident. And your young man showed remorse for the accident. You know, do I think that he should have been sent into confinement for that accident? No, I don't. People have done worse than him and had accident. They have had vehicular homicide, manslaughter, and got probation. Do I think he should have got probation or ankle monitor? Yes, I do. Because he has no history whatsoever of criminal behavior. And he has no history of violence. So that's my, presentation for you guys of what I came up with. But let's keep praying because God is showing up and showing out. We don't have to address the hate that they have for us. They've been doing this for many years, but we can keep on loving because God is going to handle this situation. Watch what I tell you. And while they hating on the Carmelo Anthony's family and saying they got this and they got that, well, let me tell you something. His father, whether you guys probably heard it, top salesman, great guy. Nobody has nothing bad to say about this man. He just wanted a better life for his family. That's why he left New Orleans and came to Texas. And they just don't like where he went to, where they went to in Texas. But like I said, this is supposed to be a free country. So we should be able to go wherever we want to go without have to be criticized because we are of another race or, what I'm saying, promote violence against us. No, that shouldn't happen. Okay, Gigi.
All right, Robbie, what are your thoughts about all this?
Good morning. Good morning. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that the video that you played, I was on that gentleman's channel and I did catch some of that live when he had it on previously. And I just have more questions than I have comments to say at the moment. Cause like my first question is, which might explain, some of the family's behavior when it comes to Carmelo's family. I'm wondering if they took it upon themselves to see that video themselves, or did they just take Carmelo's account for it? And the reason why I say that is because as trusting as they were with the council, one thing I know is the Anthony family knows their son, just like the Metcalf family knows their son. And I remember when this initially came out, all this fake outrage that Metcalf's dad is showing now, he wasn't showing that in the beginning. Vice versa, he felt embarrassed and he was apologetic because he even said something to the effect, I know my son. In other words, the one that that is kind of troubled, that's like a bully, that's impulsive. And I think if they had a good attorney that was worth half his salt, they would have hired a private investigator or somebody and would have been extensively investigating his social media to get a psychological profile and to interview some of the students. Because I guarantee you that's not the first time they've jumped somebody or he's gone around intimidating people. It seemed like he's used to selling wolf tickets. He's used to being a fake tough guy like his dad. And, he thought they were going to have an easy, they were going to get an easy lick off of Karmelo just by his size and his weight and the fact that he was alone. You know what I mean? You got to be a real coward to surround somebody with like 4 other guys, and there's that much of a height and weight difference. So I guess that's my question. Maybe one of you guys can answer that for me. Do you know if the parents ever saw the video? You know what I mean? Because it seemed like they were, from what I gather from the Breakfast Club, they were just trusting the system. They just remind me of
I'm gonna be
good
I'm gonna be
people.
honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Carmelo's parents are good some people. Okay, they really are. They don't know nothing about the criminal system. Okay, they didn't know which way to go. So they were asking people that they knew to give them some advice, and they were giving them the advice. But when they did get the money up for the attorney, they wasn't able to use the money, all the money. None of that. That's what I'm saying to you. A lot of that they took back. They took $630,000 back. So, they were going to use the rest of that for his appeal. But like I said, they snatched that. Soon as the verdict came out, they snatched it. Everything went blank. People that donated said they went on there. I read some other comments. They said they went over there to check and see why the Carmelo Anthony family didn't get their funds. Baby, they said that the whole system was just dark on their phones.
I just want to say this, and I'm speaking to our people. We don't have to explain ourselves to nobody, because like all these white supremacists are just projecting and showing who they've always been. I mean, like I felt like it was really asinine for people to assume like Carmelo's dad or mother don't have means of their own, or like obviously his dad has a pretty good job if his mother was able to kind of stay at home. So these aren't people who needed to be like some of these low-level white supremacists who go get a GoFundMe just for saying the N-word, and then they become a race-baiting millionaire. People do a whole lot of projecting. So it's like these are hardworking people that obviously they trusted the system more than I would have. And I'll tell you this case, one way or another, a lot of good is going to come out of it, because as much as we all I think all of us as African Americans or foundational Black Americans, we want to, if anybody wants to believe in the system, it's us. If anybody wants to ally, it's us. If anybody wants there to be an end to racism, it's us. You know what I mean? So we don't wake up every day thinking about that. So unfortunately, as I was explaining in the previous live, because the economy has been in a decline and it's going to continue to decline, expect more of this just negative behavior out of the low lives and the low hanging fruit that they're dissatisfied with their own lives. So if they don't troll, they're the kind of mentally unstable people that are raising people like Mr. Metcalf's son, which you can look at him and you can look at how he treated his wife. And you know what? I know everybody say they feel sorry for the mother. We got to stop being polite. Let's be honest. You guys raised a bully. You knew he was a bully long before he reached puberty. You just thought it was cute. Put it this way, this is why we deal with these type of white supremacists. They tolerate people like this in their community. That's why they have to project and talk about accountability. No, they know where all the bones are hidden. They know all the dirt that's in their community. They know that there's these impulsive guys that are potential school pewers. You know what I mean? Little weirdos that are incels, that are angry, that haven't been nurtured, haven't been loved, haven't been hugged, that they need validation outside of themselves. So they got all these psychological issues going on. They're a bunch of ticking time bombs, which I wouldn't blame a lot of children to carry a power tool with them. If you done seen all this bullying, like all the school pewings have been a result of two things: either white supremacists being indoctrinated with hate at home, or bullying. Somebody responds to a bully. So what do you think would have happened if Karmelo would have got jumped by 4 or 5 of them dudes and then it escalated? Not only could the parents sue, which they still should sue, and as far as Charleston White, I'm going to try to preference my words.
He's always been a snake, and he sheds his skin.
I was just trying to finish my thought because I'm trying to be tactful, because if I need to go there, I'll go there. But I'll just say this. If he claims he cares about Karmelo, with his one good eye, he knows that that's wrong. It's like, bro, why are you gonna sit here and try to humiliate this young man, even if you claim you had a disagreement with the family and you say it's not about you? The only thing that I could hope and pray in some Machiavellian way, if he understands the algorithm like he does, he's either doing one or two things. He's either trying to enrich himself and get his profile up, you know what I mean, and get his little, I forgot, Q rating up, or he could be doing what these white supremacists have done, baiting them into buying them shirts, and then he ends up using that money to help Carmelo's family. Which, if he does that, that's ingenious. That'd actually be very smart. So every watermelon T-shirt they buy will end up paying for Carmelo's defense. I would love it. I would laugh my butt off all day if that's actually what he was doing. But I'm not sure if that's what he's doing.
I don't think that's what he's doing. I don't think that's what he's doing. I don't think so. I really don't. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think so. Because let me just say this. We have so many stars, rappers, and whatever else. A few of them coming out donating money and stuff. But what about the rest of you guys? What about the rest of you guys? So that's why I said he's not. And we live in a world where it is like this, but it won't. But let me just say this. It ain't going to stop until it hits somebody else's home. Then they want everybody else to join their board, get on board with them.
I'm just going to say it. God forgive me if this gets clipped because I don't like to be messy, but so be it. Look, I'm from the 80s and the 90s. We used to not listen to weirdos. I'm just going to be frank. I'm not going to listen to a nigga that's cockeyed with one good eye and he's got a glass eye. We're just not going to listen to you. What is he famous for? It's like social media has emboldened a lot of people who were kind of like nobodies all of a sudden to kind of replace TV, and people are like famous for no reason, and people can be self-appointed leaders. Here's the thing. I'm never going to hate on some other man, period, or any other black man making their coin, right? But I'm just saying in terms of people, claiming that they're a leader, and I'm not even going to hate because, look, at one time, I thought he was a straight up coon. Then I seen him do some things that I said, okay, maybe there's a method to his madness, because I seen him do an interview one time, I think, with Tasha K. And I was like, wow, this brother's pretty articulate. So I know he has good sense. I just think what it is, and I'm going to be honest, capitalism brings the worst out of all of us. As long as there's capitalism, you're going to have racism, because you're going to have white men who feel insecure and shortchanged. And they're their emotional intelligence is a lot lower than their actual intelligence. So they're led by their insecurities, they're led by their implicit bias, and they're told that they're special. Now, as for the rest of us, we're kind of forced to kind of make amends with the idea of capitalism and learn to capitalize. And especially in this social media age, or just the way everything's changing, I still don't understand all these algorithms and all that. I know for us, when it comes to black content creators, they want us to be gladiator fighting. They want us to be Mandingo fighting. It's like we got to tear each other down like a vulture to build each other up, when you can have white kids just do videos about skateboarding and pranking. You know what I mean? So yes. That's one reason why I've been hesitant to kind of get into social media. But if I'm just being honest, and maybe it's a generational thing, there's just certain funny looking niggas we never paid attention to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, damn, y'all, the best we can do is have somebody who's cockeyed making jokes with one eye. I mean, I'm happy that the brother is somewhat disabled and he made it big. But it's like, man, don't be digital cooning, digital buck dancing, like Tariq Nasheed say. I mean, you're going to put this man's face on a watermelon like that? To me, if the rest of the people in our community don't counsel him and don't have nothing to do with him, I don't know what else to say. Just from that alone, like, he better have a good explanation. Like I said, if he's not doing this as some 3D chess to make money off the white supremacists, then it's like, damn, bro, you just basically lost all credibility with my book.
But they'll probably shut him down with that. Yeah. I'm just gonna be honest with you. We just need to stay on a positive form, because things are unfolding. They tried to hide what they had, and guess what? He can't hide it.
But I will say this, what Charleston White did, he has influenced a whole bunch of black people to come out and diss the parents, they are following Charleston. He have fans that are brainwashed that whatever he says is golden, and it also made it for the black conservative to use that as an example, as the Carmelo family is full of shit. That is what they've been using. So he did a lot of harm. So also we have Matthew here. How you doing, Matthew?
How y'all doing? Charleston White is a liar. He did not talk to them
Ooh,
people.
come
He
on
didn't
now.
he lied. He used that to make money. So all of that
Thank
about
you.
maybe Charleston had a good agenda or maybe he had no. Charleston White got the money in his pocket. He ain't giving it to nobody. He all for Charleston White. That's what sellouts
Right.
all do. They're about themselves. Let's go all the way back to slavery to the house master. You know what I'm saying? As soon as Master got on
Absolutely.
TV and told Charleston, hey, you think you're funny? I got something for you. That's when Charleston
Right.
whole agenda changed. Don't change it to nothing else, people. Don't overthink about, oh, maybe he saved a dog or walking cat. No. Stop making excuses. Maybe he this, that. Cut it off. That's why he do what he do, because we keep allowing him to do it and make excuses for that. Cut it off.
Absolutely.
It's draw a line and that's it. You either on this side or that side. Ain't no coming back and forth.
Absolutely.
You gotta stay on code. That's the code.
Well, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to try to be as tactful as I say it. The only reason why a lot of people, white, black, blue, green, purple, do all the stuff they do off code is because we don't have any real code enforcement and deterrence. And I'm going to leave it at that. As long as there's not any punishment for Conan, because I know what I feel like the penalty should be for it, but I'm not going to say it on this live. If it was left up to me and if we had any good sense, you know what I mean? People don't know how to send a message. And that's why I'm saying, right or wrong or indifferent, regardless of how white supremacists may feel, I'm glad Karmelo stood up for himself, because wasn't nobody else, obviously, under that tent going to stand up for him. No one else tried to step in and diffuse the situation. They're going to do what they always do. They're going to sit back and watch and be a spectator. Half of them are going to be entertained. The other half are going to be intimidated. And for like some of the black folks that are intimidated, you know, they just start raccooning and bucking their eyes and saying whatever they need to say, not so much to make money because they think some kind of way is going to insulate them and protect them. But guess what? White supremacy always breaks its tools. And if and when the winds change, and they start to break their tools and it affects him, you know, he's not going to get any sympathy from the community because people are going to remember all those receipts. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to reap what you sow. To me, that was just wicked. That t-shirt business, that was just wicked, if I'm being honest.
It is wicked. I totally agree with you there. It's very wicked.
So it was just wicked that he said the father didn't want it. Who are you to give somebody some legal advice, Charleston White? Who are you to be mad because the father want to choose another lawyer? And that's what you're going, that's your response to that? Y'all not talking about that point.
And here's the thing, this is their child. Who are you to tell them what's best for their child? You get what I'm saying?
So that's to prove to you the deed was never for them, it was for himself.
Absolutely.
Do what I want to do so I could stay in the limelight.
Yeah, that's you know, but you know that's how a person like him is, because after you do your research, you realize he was a snitch, he was this, he was that, you know. Yeah.
It's called a con artist. He's the good con artist. That's how he got away with the crime he did. He's a con artist and he's good at it.
Well, you know what they
That's what
say, in the land of the blind, the man will listen. In the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king. Let's just keep it a buck if we go by our Negro census. First and foremost, Carmelo's family, I love them, but they're a little naive when it comes to white supremacy. One, when you didn't see a black face on that jury, that should have let you know something. Two, even the area that they live in, right? And with the president we have in office and all these strings for the killings that you're seeing, no matter how much, because I know what they're dealing with, because even me, I was a little bit in denial, and I was like, nah, I don't want to go off on the deep end, because you try to focus on the one or two good white people that you know, and two things can be true at the same time. You can have white people who embrace humanity, but at the same token, they may not outnumber, as we can see through these elections and everything else, people who want to hold on to this implicit bias, because you know, in other words, America has had more of a history of practicing open racism than this milk toast kumbaya revisionist history that everything's all inclusive and that they've always celebrated diversity and that we can just trust them and we just need to, put race on the back burner. If we didn't put race on the back burner, we would all be Nat Turner. So obviously we've put race on the back burner. They're the ones that keep playing in our face. They're the ones that, I'm going to be honest with you, and Lord, please help me land my plane. Something is really off in this country right now. One, a lot of it has to do with the finance, but two, you've had people like Elon and some of these other alt-right type media people promoting this anti-black hatred. And even the Democrats, they kind of put black women's lives on the line with Letitia James and with Fonnie Willis going after Trump. It's like you're putting all of us out on the line so it can be Operation Black Shield and we catch the backlash. And that's what some of this is about. So when they come talking about black fatigue, like I say, if they see a black person in their zip code, it'll be a Bigfoot sighting. So they can't be fatigued because they live in close proximity to us. They are oversaturated and sometimes curating and looking for the content themselves of negative black stereotypes, negative black images to basically for confirmation bias, so they can keep their mind off their credit card debt, off their job insecurity, and about them feeling dissatisfied with the American dream. So that's why now, if I go to McDonald's, if I go to Walmart, if I go to HEB, you can have people who are at work that kind of have a condescending attitude with black folks, you know what I mean? Or they'll be thinking that you're stealing. People just start projecting all type of things, and then they don't even do a good job. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Have y'all noticed that? Like people don't even do the bare minimum not to get fired. People would just do what they want to do on their job. And then in addition to that, they project all of their negative stereotypes on us because they've been normalizing nastiness and hate. And that's why this verdict came out the way that it did. And unfortunately, hopefully the next time around, the family learned their lesson. And I'm glad they're trusting their gut. And I just pray that God himself checks Charleston White, that he has his Paul moment where he falls off his camel or whatever, and his Uncle Ruckus bad eye, gives him some common sense. Because I say this, every dollar you make off those watermelon T-shirts, may it bring you bad karma. Just to even have a wicked imagination to think to do something like that, to know that you're harming other black people. Because anytime you dehumanize a people through propaganda, you're setting them up for genocide. I'm going to say that again. Why do you think the Jews say never again? They don't even play around with anything dealing with, Nazis or anything talking about, exterminating them. These people keep putting out all these negative stereotypes about us. And that's why even when we don't fit the stereotype, it just basically gives them a license to exclude us from justice or deny us, basic rights, which was the whole game to begin with. We're not trying to fight the civil rights movement all over again. All we got to do is just continue to do what you're doing, like the host for this this panel.
Right here.
Yeah, but allowing the truth to be out there, because I don't like to be messy, but what Charleston White is doing needs to be called out. There needs to be more people calling that out, because that's not cool. That's harming Karmelo. If you claim don't ever say you love Karmelo again and you're fighting for him, and you put his face instead of him looking like a watermelon, he got him looking like a Ninja Turtle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous.
Right. It is. It is.
Not only that, but you're causing a racial divide amongst people, because when people wear that shirt, what do you think is going to happen in the streets? If
well, myself, I wouldn't be buying it, knowing what I know, and what I researched and what I, heard from No Cap and stuff like that, I wouldn't be. And the information that Aisha, brought up tonight about what Jeff Metcalf has said, and how they fumbled the ball, the police department. So yes, it's time to get the feds in here. It's time to get somebody in here and get this regulated, because at the end of the day, this got to stop. It's got to stop. Regardless of the fact, it's got to stop. And it started with Charlie Kirk and people like Trump, whether people believe it or not. Charlie Kirk wasn't promoting unity. He was dividing the people.
To be honest, the feds never get involved. That's all Trump people, baby. That's all the same. They all in the same game claim, baby. They not gonna get involved.
Some people are honest on that stuff. Just like when that man hit that woman in North Carolina, that police officer, that whole county stood up there and said they would not tolerate that. They fired that man, and he's going up for he got a case going up to the courts behind.
Hold on, don't fool yourself with that. You know why that happened? Because that video wasn't unedited, and millions of black people saw what happened, and they knew. Play dumb if you want to, F around and find out. If we don't get justice, in other words, you better be on the giddy up, just like right now. They know daggone well, if they would have had evidence that would have incriminated Karmelo, Elon with his goofy behind would have had that video leaked a year ago. So that's how you know the way they're keeping this video on wraps, like it's the JFK files, lets you know that it's obviously exonerating evidence on there that anybody with common sense could look at the video and see that it's self-defense. But that's the whole point. They get a dopamine fix by having these humiliation rituals and by them trying to, have these little snuff films so they can just caca and kiki amongst themselves and say, yeah, we denied justice. But they need to get a for real attorney to get a copy of that. There has to be a way legally for his defense to get a hard copy of that video. I mean, I hate to say it, they got to stop. I hope they've gotten their Negro wake up call and now they're just like on the ball. Because I would not trust these white supremacists to not destroy that video. Period. Just like the young man who was found up in that gym mat in South Georgia, and Valdosta, whatever. They say now there's new evidence. People have screenshots from the video that had got erased, showing his body being dragged. So it shows that it was a cover up. See, and they're gonna open up a new investigation, but they made sure they took all of his organs and tried to do everything they could to destroy any evidence in his case. And you want to talk about the government? Look, when I was in the military,
they could. Let me just tell you about that, because I live in Georgia. Let me just tell you about that little case a little bit. The thing is, when you got family members, the Bell brothers, they father is up there, okay? So that's why that little small county too, that goes to show you, little small counties now, little small, that's what it is, because where they at, it's small. And them Bell brothers, their father was running a little everything, okay? So that's why they was able to get away with it. But everybody knows that this young man, even Tyler Perry, when he first donated some money to the family to help with that. Okay, he knew that little boy didn't roll himself up in a mat and turn himself upside down. Tyler Perry knew that, but guess what? It didn't go far because of that little county, that little city right there. It didn't. That's why it didn't go far. Those little people, just like what they doing here, and nobody really wanted to continue to speak out. But see, you gotta be pressful. You gotta continue to speak out, regardless if they tell you it's not gonna work. Because just like Ahmaud Arbery, they thought they were gonna get away with shooting him, but they didn't get away because Ahmaud Arbery mama, Mrs. Arbery, didn't allow that to happen in Brunswick, Georgia. She did not allow that. She kept pressing, speaking out. Then she went and got Benjamin Crump. Then she went and got all of them NAACP and everybody else and brought them on in. See, you got to use the force.
But within Ahmaud Arbery's case, let's be honest, it took for one of them to have a conscience and come forward. somebody who had the video and seen it floating around for 2 months. So I pray
No,
actually.
no. You know what got Amar Aubrey them men got the federal and the state case? Because I live in Georgia, Savannah, and I got people that I know in Brunswick. You know what happened? They called 911 and said, hey, this black guy, bloop, 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 and going on and talking about we following him. And the 911 operator told them, good as day, do not proceed to follow him. Fall back. Fall back. They hung the phone up and shot that boy.
Right. I know that part. I'm talking about the actual video. You know, they recorded the whole thing on video, his pew-pewing, and they were passing it around as like snuff porn for like 2
Yeah,
months.
but what got the case? I'm saying what got the case to really is the 911 operator, because she knew it wasn't. She knew that this man was literally killed. And then when they went in when they went and the people, the neighbors was like, oh, he wasn't bothering nobody. That his mother lives in here. She lives around the corner. His mom lived around the corner, not too far from where he was jogging at every day. Went down that same road.
Right. They said, well, this is about Karmelo. Let's turn it back.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry, Chat.
Thank you, Barbara, for steering us in the right direction. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Miss Barbara. Yes, because we're getting off the fact. We are. So, just because, but it's justice. You have to, as we cannot keep on using scenario that this is, we have to keep trusting God and keep trusting and do what we can do, because God is letting all this unfold. But he also trying to teach us something too, as a Black American race. We got to stick together. United we stand, divided we fall. That is true. The Bible even states that. A city that is divided will fall. The Bible states that, and that is a proven fact. So we got to get on board. And since everybody is on board, God is listening, because everybody's on board, but ain't nobody reacting in violence. See, ain't nobody. That's why they wanted to come out as everybody to be violent, but nobody is being violent. See, people are speaking their mind and they're angry.
I disagree with that. Words, I mean, if you're quoting Bible, words are violent. You can kill somebody with your words. And that is exactly what they're doing on social media. They're all attacking each other. They're saying horrible things that are breaking people's spirits. And as far as, when it comes to religion, they feel the same way. I mean, they're praying to their God or the same God as well. So
they're not praying to the same God, honey. They're not.
Well, as far as Jesus Christ, the Bible, No,
they not. They praying to who their father is, the devil. That's who they praying to, honey. No, you could not possibly think you praying to a God and do the things that you do. No, that's unacceptable. I can't believe that now. I won't believe that, Gigi. But everybody has their opinion.
What Gigi is saying what they believe.
That's how they feel.
Oh yeah, I know that's how they believe.
So you guys are. I don't get. It's the same book, but you guys on the opposite side. It's the same book, but one group said you're going to hell, the other group says you're going to hell. And everybody is in disarray. I mean, you got Black people going against Black people about this. You got white versus Black. I mean, this is a mess.
Yeah. But see, a lot of Black people that stand up, they're only going by, oh, he brought a knife. Why he didn't get under the out from under the tent. But like I go to show, like I just presented to you, it's not in Texas. It's not against the law to have that type of tool or that type of pocket knife. Whatever they want. They said it was a knife, but it's a tool. It was never a knife, so it was a tool. So it wasn't against the law. Could his school do something about it? Yes, they could have if they wanted to. But other than that, it would have never been tried in no law, no, in the court of law, because he never did anything wrong. It's just the point is when the fight escalated from, they said it's a push, they said it's a shove, but it was no push or shove. When I have a black eye and when you have choked me in a chokehold. How is that a push and a shove? He just lightly shoved and pushed him. No, it's not. And that's why you don't want to release the video cam. That's why they don't want to release the video, period. Because the video shows exactly what that. But see, they wasn't intended to let our people see the video. They wasn't intended to let our people see the video. The video was going to go around among their circle. Okay? But once again, got to give the almighty creation who created the world this credit. He allowed it to be shown because that you heard what he said. The man said, "Oh, they let Dwayne in. The gate got open. Dwayne went in. Dwayne came out and said what he saw. Now he said, now they got them people saying this is what happened, and they're making us look bad. Okay, but this the truth. Karmelo never did anything. He's not guilty of anything but defending himself. And you can't make me leave somewhere where I'm supposed to be free at. Because if I'm not free here, if this is the United States and I'm not free, please let everybody know that we're not free so we can go to somewhere where we will be free. Because
y'all are not free.
You know,
I'm saying, Gigi, I'm talking about as a free country for him to stand underneath the tent. He could stand underneath that tent. That boy did not own that tent. And the coach never gave him. That's the cover up. Again, another cover up. The coach never gave him permission to oversee the tent. But that's another lie that they wants to throw out. And Sarah, I can't believe Sarah Fields that you helped publish the news and you set up there. And even when she was on that little girl, what's her name? Tamara Neely podcast, you couldn't barely say anything. She was the one. That African-American girl was doing all the talking. Karmelo did this. And I'm like, really? So I just had to put in there, no, you need to wake up. Sarah's lying to you. Sarah was the one that did the interview with Jeff Metcalf. She was the one that whispered, you're talking too much, just like the lawyer just like the judge gave him the gag order. Because he knew loose lips.
Can you explain to us who Sarah is for us who don't know? Like, what's her first and last name?
Her name is Sarah. Her name is Sarah Fields. She works with the news. I forgot what site she works with, but she works with them.
Is she a white individual or black?
She the one.
She's a white lady. Yes.
Nick at night when Nick was crying, she all over the side of the Metcalf family, helping orchestrate all of this. She behind a lot of this.
Oh, so she's the Karen that was complaining about Nikki. Like, I think they were saying there was a lady that was showing up to the court and that kept complaining. So, okay, I get it.
Yeah, so she's the one. Yeah, she's the one. She was, when he was sitting there and said, oh, those idiots, they fumbled the ball. Okay, but you was telling him to whispering. You was whispering to him, not to say what he said. But see, hey, he ain't caring about that. He's showing his true colors, baby. He's letting it all let it hang out. And that's why that judge gave him the gag order, because he would have set it out for him, baby, and it would have been an outcry. So that's why he gave him the gag order, to shut your mouth until after the trial. And they all cashed in on it. But they all gonna have to cash out.
I think what they're hoping is that Karmelo's family will get discouraged and that they won't be able to afford an appeal. But that's where they're wrong. I think he definitely will get an appeal. He just needs to continue to keep his spirit strong. I'm talking about to have the money. I'm talking about to have the money to get a really good attorney. I definitely want to make sure I can contribute, because that's one thing I'm going to say, and that's why I try to be really quiet. And it's just from all of my experience, just from living, being in the military, surviving different things that I've survived. One thing I can say, when we're dealing with this enemy, we got to understand that we're dealing with sociopaths. and we're dealing
Yeah,
with psychopaths.
absolutely.
So they are not,
Absolutely.
they believe in like absolutism. They go by like Nietzsche, like the law of like there's something called slave morality and dominance. All they care about
Yes,
is dominance. So sometimes, not
absolutely.
just as black folks, but I say the Democrats are really terrible at this. They try to appeal to us to speak about how we feel. And I just keep thinking about that Chris Brown song, 0, 0, 0, 0. That's how many F's I give. We keep talking about how many F's they don't give. And they've shown us that they've had a track record for the last 200 years. They don't care until they feel uncomfortable. So if Carmelo
Absolutely.
standing up for himself made them uncomfortable, great. If us getting on cold makes them uncomfortable, great. Because otherwise, if we don't make them uncomfortable, they won't move. You know what I mean? They're comfortable with everything being the way it is, and they get gleeful joy, a temporary joy, dopamine fix, seeing us argue amongst each other. Charleston White
Absolutely.
doing what he's doing and all of that. So all of those distractions are nonsense. What they need to know is, regardless of who you got over the Department of Justice and whoever's president, you punk white supremacists, if you use the ER and some of our presence, you're gonna end up in the ER. That's not a threat. That's just a fact. That's just gonna be a natural response to some of us, so y'all can get sensitivity training. What you want us to do is to be caught up in our emotions, be confused. Like, I know some people are trying to tell themselves this can't be real. This almost feels like the 1930s. Well, yeah, it feels like the 1930s because the middle class is literally back to where it was in the 1930s, almost 40%. So when capitalism has a hiccup, they always look for a Negro to blame. So this is all by design. I mean, I'm not even going to get into Elon and what they plan on doing, with tech. But yeah, expect to see more of this. But that's why it's important for us to get out of our emotions and just be logical with these people. They're very smart. They're intelligent. They just like to play dumb. So I don't try to explain to them. You know what I mean? They want to waste time sometimes to get us to explain and want to convince and talk about historical grievances and evidence. We need to keep the facts amongst ourselves. But when it comes to them, I'm
Absolutely.
not even going to waste the energy because it's like evildoers will be cut off. You know what I'm saying? They can look at
Yes,
the same footage and still say you're guilty because that's what Negro means. Negro means guilty.
absolutely.
Didn't know that. Learn something every day. You guys in
Yes,
the
you do.
chat, please like the video. Tamala and Robbie, they're really breaking it down for you guys. The least we can do is support this channel and get the likes up. And the link is in the chat if you guys want to come up and speak about it. All right. People are saying you guys are absolutely right. Barbara says, forget Elon. We're talking about Carmelo and this edited video, but it all plays a part. I mean, it's all a big it's all comes together. I'm sure Elon probably got money behind it to help and protect this family because they all working together. This is a system that all works with each other. They come together as a community. So I can understand, why he was speaking
For the
about that.
last year, he's allowed
And
all these
I like
negative stereotypes on his platform about Carmelo and misinformation.
Well, not only that, he's trying to make it where black people can't even comment on that platform. I believe he's trying to sue or something like that. They're saying he's trying to figure a way how he can be racist and not get in trouble by it. So
Hmm. And I also shout out to Country Boy because he was a Trump supporter, but when he heard about this Carmelo Anthony thing and he seen what was going on and heard the same tape that with Sarah Fields, man, I'm telling you, he came off the roof talking about the judge and the photo. That's why I said it wasn't whoever said that photo wasn't a real photo. He said, yes, it was. It was a real photo. They all friends. And he said it was a total setup. So a lot of people are not going along with this. A lot of people are not going along with this. I just hope that our people see through it because, a lot of our people are saying things that they shouldn't say, really. And it's not surprising, but it's really sad that they I mean, I guess they said it because of the evidence that they saw. I guess I mean, but I was always taught, never to believe the government or never trust them with anything, because my uncle, being a civil service for the military and high rank, he always said that don't trust them. And he was 90 some years old telling us that don't trust them. They are always changing something up. So it is what it is. But I'm glad that this new evidence came out, and I'm looking forward to the black young prince to be home soon. So I'm going to keep praying. Gigi, go ahead, sweetheart.
All right. Robbie, what else would you like to say?
I just wanted to, reiterate what the previous sister said, that we just got to remember God is in control. The good
Absolutely.
news is they can't do anything new against us. That's how the devil operates. And remember, we're not
Absolutely.
just dealing with flesh and blood. We are dealing with spirits, right? So choose ye this day who you're going to serve. I pray that God gives me a clean mind and a clean heart, so that if I do speak
Absolutely.
on this subject, that it can be beneficial, not something that's negative. Because we don't want to promote fear. But at the same point in time, I just want for our people to have a holy boldness and confidence, and understand that we have accomplished everything that we've had in spite of. So I feel that God is preparing us to leave Egypt. So when you say, like, is there a place for us to go? I think he'll prepare us a place here, kind of like the children of Israel when they were in Egypt, they had Goshen, and Goshen was a blessed place. So one thing I thank God for is his divine protection. I pray that his angels protect Karmelo. I pray that the Holy Spirit, the true Holy Spirit, not religion, convict someone's heart to not only come
Right.
forward, right, but for that video to be protected, and everything that's done in darkness will come to light, because the blood speaks. And I just really pray for his mother and his father, that they can, filter out all this negative news, and just know that even if a celebrity or somebody high profile seems like they are slandering, and that there's betrayal, that God's grace is sufficient. There's 40 million of us that see the same thing, and we see our own son, we see our own brother, we see our own nephew in Karmelo, and so we don't need to be afraid. God didn't give us a spirit of fear. So this is a time
No.
for holy boldness, to have the courage of a lion. And I'll land my
All
plane
right.
there.
That's it. You're right. You're
All right.
absolutely correct.
Well, I appreciate you guys for coming on. All right, so I'll wrap it up. I know it's getting late. Thank you, Tamala. Thank you, Robbie. And I
You're
hope
welcome.
and I look forward to hearing from both of you guys in the future. And Matthew, thank you for coming up as well. Anybody else that I missed, I apologize, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. All right, good night.
Peace.
Good night, Gigi. Good night, everyone.